Hi, Robin Firth here, musician and producer. We were talking last week about the Studiospares S980 microphone. Very cheap microphone. I've been using them this weekend. A little bit more news on that later. So yeah, I've been doing some comparison tests. I'm actually doing one right now as we speak. And what we shall do is, I've got these all three mics set up here. We've got the SE Electronics SE1A, the Electro Voice PL37, and then lastly the Studiospares S980. Doing some comparison tests. At the minute, I thought I'd set these three mics up. Thanks to my daughters, I've managed to get them on the one mic stand using some hairbands. Professional. And yeah, if you just want to listen to, I've got this at a distance of about 10 inches maybe from my face, just to see how it picks up the voice. So this is the SE1A, this is the Electro Voice PL37, and this is the Studiospares S980. So obviously you can hear little differences there, but it's quite surprising. You know, it's only subtle differences really. I'm going to test them out on acoustic guitar in a second. If you look closely, I've lined up the three microphones together so that they pick up in as close as possible to the same area. We've got the three mics plugged in separately, channels 1, 2, 3 on the PreSonus Fire Studio project. And as you can see, those first three channels, the gain is set exactly the same for all channels, so you can also hear the volume difference. I've not added any EQ or filters or anything like that. It's just going straight into Cubase. You'll be able to hear the differences in the different microphones. This is the Dean AEF acoustic. This is my cheap and cheerful Paiste 101 brass hi-hat. So I took the mics out on the road this week, using them on the drum kit, one on the hi-hat, and then a pair of overheads. Unfortunately I didn't manage to get any video footage, so here's the audio. So that was a recording of my trio, Extreme Rendition, on Saturday at Coomhaven in Hastings. I used to live there. As you can hear, it sounded pretty good. So, personally, I don't want to draw any conclusions about this. You be the judge. To me, that sounds like a perfectly usable microphone. for studio use, for live use. Whether or not they stand up to the battering of life on the road, only time will tell. As I say, my SE1 I've had to retire from live work, just because it can be a little bit temperamental on stage, although it's absolutely fine using it in the studio. Yeah, three subtly different sounding microphones, you might say, and perhaps not. I can notice the differences and I can see how each microphone would each have its own advantage and possibly disadvantage. But for me, as I say, this was largely about the Studiospares microphone. It's totally usable. I wouldn't say it sounds cheap at all. It's an absolute bargain. So if you're short of different microphones, I definitely suggest you take a punt at it, even if it's just to have something around as a spare, or you need those just those extra microphones for those cases where you might find that you've not got enough in your collection to cover a full ensemble. Who knows? But yeah, overall, I'm very impressed. I might even buy a couple more. But yeah, great work, Studiospares.